Hello everybody and welcome to the Core77 Awards for 2015 for the category of Research and Strategy. This is Hugh Evans and I'm Melissa Nova, Jury Captain for this year. Before we go in and talk about the results of the judging, I just wanted to acknowledge the judges that made this possible. They're all very busy individuals and have allocated their precious time to do an amazing job. So thank you very much, Dr. Harold Nelson, Dr. Yoko Okama and Marcel Spears.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the judging process, the discussion and the debate, and the way in which we came together to really thoroughly understand and analyse the entries was fabulous, and also the entrants themselves, the calibre of the work done, and the calibre of these entries, both on the professional and student side, was absolutely fantastic.
So let's go through the professional entries first, and we'll finish up with the student entries. We've organised the announcement to start with the notables, then talk about the runners-up, and then finish off with the winners, just to build a bit of suspense. So let's start off with the first of the two notables for the professional category, and that is to the intuitive voting for the voters of the USA project. This was a project that looked at how to address voter apathy in the US, and we were quite impressed with the project and the way that it looked at multiple users rather than just voters. It also considered the perspectives of the volunteers, the judges and analysts. It also looked at the end-to-end experience, including registration, candidate and issue research, ballot review, voting and results tracking.
Yep, and it was a great question to tackle, and one with the potential for some real impact. So the second notable entry was Living Lab for IKEA of Sweden and Icana Real Estate. This particular project looked at the challenge of how do we live in a high-density residential environment. How do we make the most use of the limited space we've got in these high-density environments, which is an increasingly important issue for many people around the world. It was nice to see how this also came in to look at the interior design and interior architecture and architectural perspective of the challenge of designing for people inside these types of spaces. And we liked the real-life fidelity of the research in an experimental environment, having families come in for 2 weeks at a time and looking at the emotional response that they had to the interactions and the arrangement of the space. We also love the collaboration between industry and university, and we feel that this not only has the potential application or potential insights that can be carried forward for IKEA and Icana, but it's a really valid question to ask, and would be very interested to see what comes out of it in the future.
And I think the application of the research to a broader scale around town planning and that sort of thing was also quite causal, quite linked. So that was also really good. So the runner-up for the professional category goes to Exploring Government Transactions for the Department of Premier and Cabinet in Victoria, for the Victorian Government in Australia. This basically looked at how to improve state government services for citizens taking a human-centred design approach. The judges genuinely liked the completeness of the work from the perspective of all touch points were considered, both brand and digital, and including physical, actually.
Absolutely.
The use of service prototypes in a physical environment was quite impressive, and the combination of being able to have citizens flow through a physical space and interact with the digital solutions and stuff was quite a high fidelity approach to be able to design a alternate service for citizens. Another call out was that the use of analytics, which is sometimes not that common in qualitative research, and it was really great to see how they incorporated that into their research design. And They also included ethnographic studies in their assessment and insight gathering for the design of the service also.
Yeah, it was really great to see a citizen-centric mindset, a project really focusing on that, which is an increasingly important way to look at things in government circles. So fantastic entry, and congratulations, well done.
So that brings us to announcing the winner for the professional category.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
The winner of the professional category of the Core77 for Strategy and Research 2015 is
Society of Grown-Ups for Mass Mutual. The congratulations. We'll clap again at the end, I think.
Sure.
So we were really impressed with the completeness of this work and the rigour that was applied to not just the research but the prototyping of it, and also the breadth of consideration of the problem space as well. So this study basically took about 2 years to go from concept to solution. And one of the things that was really great to see was that the focus of the work shifted as they gained insight into the new category of looking at how insurance products, I guess, were sold into the 20s, 30s and 40s market. And what they were able to realise in doing this research was that it actually wasn't about trying to inform how to sell better, but perhaps to solve a more profound problem, which was around financial literacy. So they basically addressed a cultural problem, unmet needs, completely with the creation of a new venture in its entirety. So they went from coming at it from a service perspective and then ended up with a full-blown business design in the end. And one of the things that was quite impressive was the totality of the project. So, obviously conceptualizing the idea and then designing a brand, creating the digital financial tools, the end-to-end service, actual bricks and mortar space, which was tailored to the service experience, and then launching an advertising campaign also, not to mention the business model that supports the venture.
Yeah, I think that's a key point. The reinvention of the business that took place, taking a human-centered design approach to rethink how the organisation is actually going to bring value to a community, and seeing a complete delivery of a new concept and a new venture that's designed for our time, with tuning into the nature of the culture as it exists now, just shows the power of a human-centered design approach to business strategy and to the development of new business models and reaching out to people and connecting with people in a meaningful way. So that was really impressive and great to see such a high quality entry.
So we're really happy to award the Core77 Design Award in the professional category for research and strategy to the Society of Grown-Ups project.
Well
Congratulations. Well done.
Now we have the student entries, and the student entries were absolutely fabulous. The judges found it very difficult actually to split between the particular entries because the quality across the board was really, really strong, and we really appreciated the creativity, the consideration around covering new territory and looking at new ideas. And it was a really enjoyable process to go through to really dive in and understand what these solutions were and design approaches were.
And I guess from a professional's perspective, I was quite happy to see the calibre of students that are emerging in this field. So that was really good to see. So let's start with announcing the notables. There are two to announce. The first one goes to Hug Match for Parsons, the New School of Design. This was a wonderful application of play to build empathy between children who have disabilities. This one in particular was looking at visual impairment. And it was a really well considered approach to designing and testing with kids, looking at how play and a toy could be used to be able to build empathy with two kids who are playing together. And it was nice to see that as the research unfolded and multiple visits were had with the children and the prototyping process went through its course, that those insights were nicely incorporated into the design iterations of the toy. So well done.
The other notable entry in the student category that we want to call out is Postmortem 3.0, and this project was focusing on an area that we often overlook, which is what happens to our digital assets, our digital personalities when we pass on. And we thought that this was a really valid question to ask, and we like the notion of organic life versus digital life and the multimodal design of a digital platform and a symbolic card of my demise, my decision. So it was thought-provoking. It was something as a judging group that we found quite interesting to discuss even in its assessment, and also that there are many other questions that could actually be asked as an extension of the thinking that was offered in this particular project. And
I think the thing that I noticed about it was that it's quite a courageous question to be asking, and I think that's worth calling out. So well done. Okay, so we're on to announcing the runners-up for this category. The first, there are two. So the first of the runners-up goes to, it's a very long title, it goes to Bridging the Communication Gap, a new touchpoint for paediatric asthma education in emergency departments for the Coordinated Healthcare Interventions for Childhood Asthma Gaps in Outcomes, which is the acronym of which is Chicago. Trial, conveniently. I was really impressed personally by this study. It was very well thought through, and it was really great to see a real world application of a student project. They took a multifaceted research approach, which included observations and interviews, and there was a really beautiful collaboration between the medical staff and the service designer student body to co-create solutions together. The thing that I loved about it was, and I've actually taken a section from the entry itself, which was and I'll just read it out. The clinicians' exacting scientific method and evidence-based approaches brought meticulous rigour to the project, while the creative, divergent thinking of design pushed the project into spaces not conceived of in the original research proposal. And I really liked that because it elegantly describes the balance that can be brought to a more scientific and evidence-based approach to the approach that the students took. So well done on coming runners-up.
The other runner-up was the wayfinding for Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Centre for IIT Institute of Design and MSKCC. This project was looking initially at the feeling, the empathy of what it's like for people to actually move into that facility and find their way. As I said, it's a wayfinding project, and it employed a multifaceted research technique of observation, space immersion, and contextual inquiry, and a multi-user approach. It wasn't just the patient's perspective that was taken, and then there was a very thorough end-to-end process applied to look at different prototypes and different ideas for how you would support all the different stakeholders to the challenge of moving through that space. So the prototyping iterations and the physical prototyping was certainly very impressive in that project.
And it was just an enormous amount of work, I think, to happen in 13 weeks as a student project, and the calibre and quality of the dioramas that were produced as a communications tool, but perhaps also as a prototyping tool in the project was really great to see. So well done.
Well done. Fantastic.
Okay.
So now for the winner of the student section of the Core77 2015 awards. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
The winner is
Tilt Playscape project for Purdue University. Congratulations. This was such a pleasure to read about. There were so many things that the judges liked about this. It was almost a unanimous a vote for winner in the student category. It's really rare to see a student actually take themselves across the world and immerse themselves in the culture that they're studying. So this particular student spent 4 months living in Nepal, studying the culture that the playscape, the playground, was to be designed for. And really deep ethnographic research, obviously cultural immersion, having been there and lived there with the community. And the way that the project was spoken about and in the collateral that was supplied with the entry showed a real sensitivity and appreciation to the cultural differences between perhaps the Western constructs of play and what was emerging in Nepal and what she was observing there.
And also seeing how the emergent nature of the process that was applied take into account the discoveries that she was discovering as being immersed in that particular culture. Very, very great example of open-mindedness, of divergent thinking, and what it means locally in a very real human way to people in that community.
The other thing that the judges really appreciated and admired was the approach to ethical decision-making and ethical design.
Absolutely. The values that underpin this project and how that was actually applied to the use of local workforce, the fair pay, the use of local resources was excellent.
And I think just the final point, and then we can wrap up.
Yeah.
We've taken enough of your time. The final point on this project, because we were just so impressed by it, was that the student was able to see that it wasn't just about creating a playground. It was actually a platform to shift mindsets and to open up new possibilities of interaction and that sort of thing in the community. So we are very happy to award the Core77 Design Award in the student category for research and strategy to the Tilt Playscape project. Congratulations. Well done.
So thanks for giving us the opportunity to judge this year. It's been a really enjoyable process to go through. It's been thought-provoking. It's been fascinating to see some of these ideas, and really everybody should be congratulated on their contributions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.